Sorry.
And then make this the real show. Yeah, we back. How
Yep.
about this?
By the way,
Okay. All right.
here we go. Here we go now.
So, Brian H., you left off on part one of this of this show, saying that you thought that Kevin Nash and Sting will be bigger than Sting Hogan, based off what you said, based off what you listened to by reading the NWO book that's been recently put out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just do, man. I just look at it like just the thought of like how big, I mean, anytime you have like a huge breakup like that, right? Yes, Sting was supposed to save WCW and it was cool, but just thinking about what Nash and Hogan could have been, like that sound like you're really looking at the clash of two giants. And the thing is, to clash of two giants with charisma. And the reason I consider Hogan a giant is I go back to the First World War III, and the whole thing about that was it was going to be a giant in each ring, all three rings, one being the giant, the other one being Hogan, and the other one being a guy who's only probably known for one thing, one gif that goes viral every time, and that is the Yeti. And he was the third giant in the ring. So that's all. I was just thinking about that, thinking about, this epic clash that, because you have on one end, you had the cool NWO, which was black and red, and then you had the bad NWO that nobody liked, which was black and white.
Well, apparently, we didn't know it at the time, good brothers, but red and black was bad too, according to the world. But it's okay. But in terms of the United States Championship versus the Intercontinental Championship, I didn't get a chance to ask Brother Hugh, how did you feel about this? It's because there's this air of WCW. We celebrate it now, right? But WCW was, at one point, they were the only company to successfully challenge Vince McMahon. But how did you feel about one championship versus the other?
Well, for me, the IC title was always superior. It just felt like it was more superior. It had better moments. It had better matches.
It's a great word to use. Heard the brother guy? Said superior.
To the US title. I understand that it's been through 3 different companies, 3 different promotions, but to me, it felt better to me. Like it just felt more prestigious. It had a better lineage than the US title, especially when it was in WCW. Because when it was in WCW, all I remember is Booker T. I can't tell you anything else about what happened in WCW with the US title besides when Booker T had it. That's it. It didn't matter to me. It didn't seem like it was like.
No, not Scott Hall. It was all
not
about
Goldberg holding both belts.
It was all about Raven and DDP. You guys know it.
Hey, look,
stunning Steve Austin.
No,
Ricky
stop
the Dragon Steamboat.
No.
Ravishing Rick Rude.
No, none of that.
And I heard you too, brother guy. As I was frozen, you said, "Let me tell you something. It didn't go through. It evolved. It might."
Because it did. What do you call it when? Well, that's like saying, the Big Cold went through 76 different promotions. No, it just kept evolving.
It's cool. Here's the thing. I know we have to move forward, but I have a suggestion for championship culture, because here's something that's always perplexed me. I feel like, can a company be bigger than its titles? Like at some point, because this is you guys talk about championships, and championships is usually the pinnacle of any competition in pro wrestling, right? But at one point, I can make the argument that in WCW was so hot, them championships almost became like second fickle, because just everything they were putting out was just that good. Where it was like, you know what? If it's for a championship, okay. If it wasn't, all right. You know what I mean? Versus WWF, the WWF championship was like everything, because Stone Cold, The Rock, and then Triple H, and then Mick Foley, and then Undertaker, like that was the number one prize. But it was the way that Stone Cold treated it, and then the feud between Stone Cold, Steve Austin, and Vince McMahon made that belt, to me, seem so much more like a coveted prize, because McMahon spent every Monday trying to get that championship out of Stone Cold's hands, and Stone Cold did everything in his power to make sure that championship never got back in the hands of Vince McMahon. It was like, okay, cool. The title was a focus point. Versus WCW, they were doing so much stuff. Championship was just kind of an accessory. It wasn't. It's not a bad thing, but it just seems like, hey, was there ever? I can never remember a time period where your wrestling was so good that the championships almost didn't matter. They almost became second fiddle. But I don't know. It's a question I'm proposing. I'm not saying it's true or not. I'm saying, hey, I don't know. A lot of
I
stuff
think we live in that right now. I think
they're trying to get back to it.
But no, I'm saying if you, I'm going to say this, and since it's not unpopular opinion, I think that's what AEW problem is. Their wrestlers outmatching their championships because it's like the championship is just a prop for them because the wrestling is so good, and it's like name me 5 of their champions right now.
Okada, the Young Bucks.
Isn't Adam Cole back? Is it Undisputed Era back?
Young Bucks aren't champions.
Aren't they?
No, they're not champions.
Oh,
no, they're not.
No.
Oh yeah, they put up the EVP status. Okay, Mercedes, Tony Storm, and Athena. Well, I guess you say that's ROH. Adam Cole.
I know one thing, bro. You named like 13 people. And I'm like, dang.
Too many champions.
They got a lot of ships over there.
You get my point, but guess what? Okada had that belt. Now they're about to unify with Omega. That match is more important than the unification of the titles.
Is it more important than the name of the title? Because that name is just uncreative. The Unified Championship. That's the best we can do. Good looking belt, but god dang it, where's the creative team at?
To your point, you haven't even seen the AEW Heavyweight Championship in how long?
Since November.
Exactly. So might have something there, realness.
Somebody
What's
probably
coming with a new belt.
That's what I was thinking because clearly Tony Khan's a belt guy. I think somebody lost it and they just like, oh shoot, we got to figure this out.
Remember, somebody stole it from Jericho.
Yeah, I think it might. I think I wouldn't be surprised if we got a new AEW looking belt. Like, oh, it's been 5 years. Let's switch it up. That's usually the timeline for belts.
With bull horns or something.
It's going to be even bigger. It's going to have nameplates everywhere. It's going to have a big AEW in the middle, like the old NXT belt, just AEW in letters with a strap around it. Oh boy, would that piss a lot of people off. But we got to move on because, like I said, we're celebrating the fact that we came back with technical difficulties, and it's time for us to let's get this show on the road. So, like I said, every week we ask our good friends and co-hosts Rocky Balboa and Apollo Creed to ceremoniously help us start the show the correct way by ringing the bell. Gentlemen, could you please ring the bell so we can start the show properly?
Want to ring the bell? Ding, ding.
Thank you, gentlemen. All right, gentlemen, we're here to start the show. We watch a lot of wrestling. It's kind of what we do. But specifically, we watch wrestling every week to kind of fill our brains with the type of content necessary for us to have these rather intelligent pro wrestling conversations. So we do a segment entitled, What Did You Watch? Now, what exactly is What Did You Watch? In case you've been living under a rock, like I said earlier. What Did You Watch is a segment where we talk about literally what we watch. And that's how we usually kick off our show. So without further ado, gentlemen, let's get into What Did You Watch? Brought to you by good friends at SeatGeek. If you're looking to purchase tickets to concerts, live shows, sporting events, and more, head over to SeatGeek.com where you can use our promo code Wrestling Realm for any one-time purchase of $50 or more. That's promo code Wrestling Realm on any one-time purchase of $50 or more. Here we go, brothers. What did you watch? Okay, gentlemen, what did you watch this week? Now, of course, we had Night of Champions. We have our weekly television, but was there anything special or intentional that you watched this week to kind of get your brains in the right place to have this conversation on this wonderful Wednesday?
Well, it was completely random. I clicked on YouTube and Major League Pro Wrestling popped up. The 20-man gauntlet popped up. Yeah, and Billy Gunn showed up. Santino showed up. It was very entertaining. What's his name? Bishop Dyer, Baron Corbin. They all showed up.
Not called Bishop Dyer.
It was a cool match. It was a
Baron
cool
Corbin, and you know it.
Right. I won't give away who won the championship, but
you can.
The one thing that always blows me, and I talked to Brian about this earlier, is the ring being connected to the daggone ramp.
Bro,
to the entrance ring.
I hate that, bro. I hate it too, bro.
Passion.
Somebody said it's good for the wrestlers' backs for some reason. Like instead of walking down a ramp, just walking straight to the ring. No. I feel like Hogan said that when he redesigned the TNA ring, and he did. He's like, yeah, it's better for the backs of the wrestlers instead of walking down and just walk straight to the ring. I hate that too. I hate it.
But don't have a ramp. Just walk out.
Yeah, that's lazy.
Straight floor. Like, come on now.
You didn't tell
straight
me
floor.
That's what you hated.
That's
You said you hated low rings.
I do hate low rings.
Yeah, you ain't
I
saying
have
nothing
beef with
about
that too.
ring.
Get the ring up off the floor, pick it up. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing? We're not backflipping on mattresses. What are we doing?
That's hilarious.
Only you would sit there and think about that.
Hey, bro, look, it's one of my pet peeves. I can't stand it, bro.
Is it harder to shoot?
You said what?
Is it harder to shoot? Is that a reason from a photographer standpoint?
I mean,
hazmat 3
for
photos.
me, yes.
Okay. So that's the real beef.
No, it doesn't look right.
Okay.
I'm so used to seeing the extra room between having the apron and the floor. Not just let me sit the padding on it or the wood on the floor and be like, all right, yeah, we're gonna have a match now. Nah, bro, no, I can't do it. No, we need ring aprons. It's extra promotion. It looks better, you know.
I don't blame you, brother Hugh. But yes, I think it's pretty cool. If we got a new age skyscrapers tag team with Donovan Dijak and Baron Corbin at MLW.
Oh yeah.
But
MLW, yes.
MLW always a good show.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, rest of you brothers? I can't wait to tell you what I watched about, because I might have to cut a passionate promo. I'm gonna be quick, I promise. But
can't wait.
What did you watch? Oh, it's gonna be good. Trust me. What did you watch, brother guy?
So I didn't watch much, but I went down a rabbit hole, which is insane, because I did not realize, and y'all know when I say this wrestler, I've been a fan of his for a while, and I just realized what the lyrics of his song said, and it made me realize how unappreciated and how much he could have done. And he's kind of cooled off a lot right now, but Christian Cage interest music for Just Close Your Eyes.
Mm-hmm.
That
now you missed it. No.
The lyrics. I didn't realize the lyrics was as deep as it.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh. You lost your brother guy. You hit the mute button.
Nah, yeah, on his mic.
Brother guy. Microphone. You went out.
Flag on the play.
Yeah. See, I told you it's everywhere, bro.
It's everywhere.
There it is.
It got
me. It got you.
All I'm saying is, when I heard the lyrics and I said, this is really deep, I said, oh, and then I realized from the patriarchy and everything that he's done, I'm like, Christian came into AEW and they pumped him up as a Hall of Fame talent, and everybody felt like they were let down. I was like, but in all actuality, he actually is. And it made me go back to TNA, and I listened to a lot of theme music. TNA has some really good theme music. It made me really miss AJ Styles, Get Ready to Fly.
No,
and
he's sick of that.
He always talking about that.
But the one that really got me, the original Fallen Angels theme, the original one, not the remix one. I don't know if y'all remember when he was X Division champion, that one. And Chris Sabin music was trash. The hell Sabin. Alex Shelley went to an identity crisis. He really didn't have music. So I went down what was the volumes called? Hollywood, when they used to come out with the different volumes of the music.
WWE, the music, volume 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah,
7.
but what was the one like the Ruthless? What was the name of the when they stopped calling them? It was like the remix of stuff, because they kept popping up on my iTunes.
It was something.
The ones that
I forgot.
But you know what I'm talking about? They had that, like the aggression and all that stuff.
They had the rap remixes on there.
You talking about the anthology one?
Yes, thank you. That one.
Oh,
that one kept popping up too, and I was like, oh. But then the TNA stuff kept popping up when they came out with that little
$30 at Kmart. I remember when that came out.
So yeah, I just kept putting it into my iTunes, and that kept popping up. I was like, wow, this is interesting. So I went down a whole interest music rabbit hole, and there's nothing wrong with Get Ready to Fly.
It's stupid.
It's nothing wrong with
it. But you know what else is stupid? Real quick.
Go ahead.
I feel real dumb, but I did not realize that the Patriots music is Kurt Angle's music.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, come on.
You didn't realize it?
You supposed to figure it out.
I randomly went down YouTube earlier, and I saw a Patriots match. I was like, hold on, this sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
I got something else that's going to blow your mind. You remember your favorite wrestler, the Renegade?
Yeah.
His music is
That's
the
not
same
my
as...
favorite wrestler, though.
It wasn't in middle school. It's the same as Mark Marrow's.
Oh, yeah. I knew that.
Who else? I was listening to somebody's earlier. Jerry Lawler's music was Harley Race.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Sanjay Dutt and X-Pac used the same music. X-Pac used it first, and then Sanjay Dutt had it. Because Star Wars just came down like this, looked like he wanted to chop. And then when Sonya got out, it was like,
love Sean Waltman.
That is the same music.
Right. It's cool, brother.
Play generic wrestling music number 7. That sounds like
right.
Oh boy, what about you, brother? What did you watch? Now you kind of went into it earlier on the second half of the first half of the show on a different lane, but what did you watch this week, brother?
Honestly, I watched in person. I went down Charlotte, North Carolina, and I got a chance to go to Ashley Wrestling. Yeah, man. And see the return of the King, that being Cedric Alexander, who as obviously always shows a lot of love anytime I see him. Same guy was in ROH. You can appreciate that. Even got a chance to chop it up with the good brother, former guest on Wrestling for the Culture, Caprice Coleman. You know what he asked me? Was I still keeping it in the pocket? I asked him, I said, we're gonna get that you said team up again one more time. He said, you never know. So yeah, he definitely kayfabed me. But yeah, it was a great wrestling. I will say, like, that's an indie show that didn't feel so indie. Anytime you got screens in the arena, right? And give you the promo packages. And I'm gonna give a good shout out to a good brother of ours, Keith Mack. He made an appearance when we went on the road. Wow, 3 years ago. 3 years ago.
Time ago, brother.
Yeah, man. And he made an appearance on the Wrestling Realm podcast that we did live there. But he's part of the crew. Him, Chris Lee, and Big Swole on commentary. Phenomenal job. Shout out to Gerard Bonify, who surprised me with this shout out during the show. Brother Fam was in the building, repping Black Wrestling, and obviously, few people was getting a chance to see a few people that was listed in the BRP 50, including the guy that the Realness and I are both howling, and that's Khan. That guy,
that's my dog. I'm telling you, he's up next.
He is. He wrestles like $1 million, looks like $1 million. It's very easy to watch. Sometimes indie wrestling isn't always the easiest to watch on a TV show. But it's very easy to watch. Shout out to Jermaine. Jermaine was watching online, and that's the way I said, with Keith Mack being a TV guy, y'all know we worked together at ESPN together. That's why we became good brothers, honestly, the days of the WWE Network, when we would sit there and those NXT specials would come on, and we would be both working at night. We walking through the hallways looking on Q's phone, So just a great opportunity. So I would love for put this out here right now. Put it on the table. I would love for a Wrestling Realm road trip.
Oh yeah, that'd be dope.
Down to Ashe Wrestling. It's Black people. So for us, shout out to Darius Lockhart. And y'all know Darius Carter is the man. That's my guy. Every time I see Darius Carter, it don't matter who he's wrestling. That dude is one of the best heels in the business. And
I agree.
Using that Beethoven theme, it just fits him. And his theme music is actually on my playlist. So yeah, definitely recommend that. It's I will say, is including the ones I've been a part of. It's the best indie show I've been to.
Oh wow.
And that includes
quite a bit.
And that even includes the what was that? What was the anniversary of WSU that was when the one wherever Mercedes Martinez wrestled Jordan Grace. And even when I got to call Kiera Hogan versus Lana Austin, and I got to use one of my lines, and even calling Michin in the there's no cages, she's no stranger to cages and chaos. So even better, I had a little bit more fun. But let me tell y'all what I found today.
Here we go.
Y'all know what Friday is, right?
No, it's Friday. It's 4th of July, right?
Yeah, so my mother told me, she assigned me to purchase something.
Dang.
Sodas.
Oh, there it is. Hold on. Yo, how fitting. First of all, I don't know why they asked you to do that out of all places.
Right.
Oh, look at that. Oh, it's got a whole WWE championship on the back of the box.
And it cuts out.
You know what type of damage we would have done with that as children?
So
we made our own cardboard cutouts.
Exactly.
Out of freaking, what you call it? You know what we
I
would have
asked my mother, can we laminate this at our job?
Bro, what?
Yep.
Can we laminate this at her job? Just immediately. That's immediately where your mind went. Like, oh yeah, wow.
So yeah,
That backyard would have turned into a Royal Rumble, buddy.
Yeah, luckily we go to a park. Your goddaughter saw this, so you know she popped being able to see Bianca there. Unfortunately, she roots for him sometimes, and I think she's still confused whether or not she should yeet because you know Jay is related to Roman, and she's still traumatized by the bloodline.
She has to stop taking that personal, honey. It's time to move on.
She still don't like Becky Lynch, and now I think it's acceptable not to like Becky Lynch again.
I understand that though. I get that. That was personal. Everybody knows Bianca's her girl, and the way that went down at her age, she probably hadn't put 2 and 2 together all the way yet. So
she's still holding it against her. She's still holding it against her because
she's not letting that one go. But that's okay though.
Yeah, I was there that day. She was in my lap hurting like. So she's not the champion no more. I said no.
See, the baby ain't want face reality.
She still don't like her. She was like, oh, alive. She's even forgiven EO, and EO cashed in on her.
Dang, that's rough.
That's crazy.
Well, that's actually bad.
Yeah,
maybe because she was only champion for those 3 seconds.
She expected, she was like, I kind of figured she would. You know, she was a little bit older, but yeah, that Becky Lynch. She's still holding on to that as I'm sitting here.
Still real to me. That's what.
There you go.
It's still real to me.
Mm-hmm. But look, you mentioned it's Bret Hart's birthday.
Yes, it is. Yep.
Bret Hart versus Mr. Perfect. That's on the screen right now.
No.
This is the match everybody got to watch.
Banger.
First of all, it's Bret Hart and the word "perfect" in the same sentence.
What?
So Bret Hart and Mr. Perfect.
Yep.
Boy,
and Perfect had a bad back.
Yeah, he was doing the honors. So shout out to Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect, as well as
is that the black and orange gear?
Who, Brett?
No, you talking about Mr. Perfect?
No, that's King of the Ring. King of the Ring 93.
Okay.
This is blue.
Blue and black.
It's
blue and black, right?
And when they ran it back in WCW, he wore the blue and black.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something tells me.
I was about to say, am I wrong for saying that the one was a better match in WCW? I don't know. Sorry.
Wait, what?
I don't know. I was asking.
No,
I didn't
think
say
he's
it.
trying to get me to go watch it.
I'm gonna have to go back and do my.
Okay. All right. Listen, fellas, I'm throwing it out there. Let's just go watch it, and then we'll talk about it a later date. But I'm just saying.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna tweet this.
Yeah.
Bret Hart.
I'm just saying.
And Kurt Hennig.
All I'm saying is, sometimes when they get a little bit older, it's like, oh, wait a minute, it's a little more Shakespeare part of this. So I'm just something to think about. It's this,
Yeah, I have some homework.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is like something to watch. Something to watch.
So we're gonna ask the universe. WWE Bret Hart versus
there you go.
Perfect.
You know, they ran it back.
So a lot of good wrestling,
and you can't go wrong with it. Shout out to WWE's YouTube channel because I'm talking about the Vault, the WWE channel. They've just now. Crazy part is this is the world we're living in, fellas. They're uploading new generation house show footage that's never been seen before. So it's like somebody had the foresight to say, okay, you know what, in 1994, 95, 96, whatever it is, we're gonna tape these house shows. They're not gonna be televised, but we're just gonna have them in the files. And now they're releasing them on YouTube. Like, hey, look, this is a whole new generation playlist of all the matches they had at live events. Or hey, now we have this. This is the entire story about Diesel leaving WWE back in whenever. So.
Right. Oh, I was wrong, brother Hugh. He was in more black and blue, but he was still in black and blue. The orange gear was just like another random match.
Okay.
Just wanted to correct myself because I knew you would be saying something if I did.
Yep, absolutely.
Yep, you know. So here it is, brothers. Let me tell you what I want to watch. I'm gonna get through this as fast as I can, so we can get into the meat potatoes of tonight's show. Man, I was scrolling through I said, I don't know what it was yesterday. I was just in a mood for wrestling. Sometimes the weather puts me in a mood. Like I just want to. I was working a lot yesterday, and I was like, I want to decompress. I want to watch some wrestling, and something popped up on my YouTube feed, and it was the Briscoes versus FTR, and it had the entire 3-match series, the best of 3 matches between them 3, and specifically the first one at the tail end of Ring of Honor in their Sinclair Broadcasting era, when I think Tony Khan had kind of already made the agreement to buy Ring of Honor, and FTR showed up in Ring of Honor to challenge the Briscoes. And I mean, it's been a while since I watched Ring of Honor stuff from our generation, our era, and they got in the ring, and just the sound of the match took me to a place where I felt peace in my spirit. I was like I calmed down I was like, yo, I remember this. And just before the match even started, the energy that flowed between the fans and the Briscoes, God rest your soul, Jay Briscoe, and FTR, that moment, I said, yo, I remember what this made me feel like. And anybody knows me, they know during that time, Realness was trying to figure things out during that whole Ring of Honor era. And Ring of Honor played a very crucial place in my life during that time period. It wasn't a whole lot going my direction, but I knew where I could find a settled place. And in Ring of Honor on Sinclair Broadcasting was that place, whether we were showing up to shows ourselves or whether it was coming on my TV on Sunday afternoons, fresh out of church. I'm eating dinner, fresh out of church, putting on Ring of Honor. And I remember the sound of the ring, the sound of the fans, and it just immediately took me to a place of just complete zen. And I was like, yo, this is what pro wrestling is supposed to make you feel like. And I was like, this is what tag team wrestling is supposed to make you feel like. Now, I understand why tag team wrestling is not the best business model. And I will never stop my criticism of what I'm looking at as far as WWE's tag team division now. But watching that match reminded me, like, bro, tag team wrestling can be popular if it's done the correct way. Just that whole match. So of course you watch it go from kind of the end of Sinclair block, just the production style of it, to an actual AEW space, but still all 3 matches. You look at the Briscoes, 2 of the best to ever lace them up as far as tag teams are concerned, even in their singles runs, but just them as a tag team, that chemistry as brothers for so many years, bro. It brought me back to such a place where I was like, bro, I felt so at peace watching wrestling. And I was like, it's crazy that this era brought me back to that feeling. So I was like, I don't know what it was, man, but for some reason, when I watched that, it like time stopped for a moment. You know what I mean? And I got through that first match, and I was like, bro, this is what I remember watching. This made me feel some type of way. Watching the energy from the crowd, watching FTR and Briscoes play off each other. And I was like, bro, I got to get Honor Club now, because thankfully those tapes, they live on forever. It's because that's the whole Sinclair Broadcasting era is there. And I was like, bro, I just gotta stop being cheap and just pay for it. So I can just, anytime I need to go back to that place, I can. So I said, wait till the brothers hear this, man. Cause we were all there at some point, and we were all in different places in our lives. And we were there for the ups and downs of that whole time period. We saw people come in, we saw people leave, we saw new stars be created, we saw new stars come and go and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, wait till I tell the brothers what I watched this week. So yeah, so I had to get off my chest. I got emotional about it, but I was like, bro, this joint, it just took me back. I literally paused in my chest. I literally stopped and just started listening to it. Just the sound of the ring, the fans, just looking at that logo. Even, and like I said, it was an awkward time period because they were using the old belts at one point, and FTR at the time were the AAA tag team champions, because they weren't really doing anything. And they were trying to find their way, and they were trying to be edgy. And that's when we first realized that Ring of Honor and AEW might be working together or some type of something. But that's when we would later find out that Tony Khan would keep Ring of Honor alive by purchasing it, which I'm to this day I'm forever grateful for. So yeah, that's what I watch. So I just had to let everybody know, like, man, listen, if y'all don't feel down, go back and watch that stuff and just like listen to it, and just the sounds of it all, the look of it all. Even brings you back to the smell of it all when you look at it. It'll take you back to a different place, man. So yeah, that's what I suggest. So we watch Night of Champions. Let's get out of this emotional state, because now we got to talk a little bit of this, right? That was deep, bro.
Now, real quick, it's crazy that you brought that up. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Because when Hollywood was talking about Cedric, it wasn't until I went to a Briscoe show in Delaware,
Yep.
and and it was right after a Ring of Honor match, and Cedric was wrestling. I was like, oh, he actually is a singles wrestler. And I remember watching him saying, wow, he's a whole totally different person when he's not wrestling in a tag team. And I was like amazed. And it was simple things like that, like post Stu Burns Arena, going to other shows and seeing those people carry over. And you saw them in one light, and then here they are in another. And I can never talk about the Briscoes enough that they were all around just good guys.
You don't appreciate how good they just in and out of the ring, bro. Like every time we went to the show, who the first person we always saw? We always saw Mark Briscoe all the time. Like and I don't know if he knew. I know he knew who we were, but he didn't. You know what I mean? But it was just like, when we probably should have been kicked out of the building with the rest of the fans. Like we were there while they were breaking the rings down, and I guess I don't know how many times they probably left us alone because they saw us dealing with somebody. I don't think people actually knew that we weren't working for them at some point. They just always.
Right.
I'm trying to tell you, they always, because if we weren't with the photographers, like we were doing something or we were carrying Fox Sports badges, we always did something every time to kind of let people know, like, hey, look, we're kind of affiliated. And then when we were talking to a lot of the stars and stuff like that, people just assume, like, I think they're working with us in some capacity. I'm not sure. They just used to always leave us alone. But like you said, the human beings they were in the ring and out of the ring. And I watched Jay Briscoe. I dang near cried. I said, God dang, man. Imagine what he'd be doing right now if he was still with us, man. He was that good. I was just like, oh my gosh, man. I was like, dang, I miss these guys, man. It's just like, you don't appreciate some things sometimes until you get mediocre WWE tag team wrestling. And you're like, this is really, really bad. It's
like, I know what it can be.
Thank you. I've seen, I know what good tag team wrestling is. I'm not making this up. I'm not being biased. Like, I know what it looks like. I know how it makes me feel because I just watched it. I just watched it. I'm like, wait a minute. This is making me feel some type of way. And I'm like, okay, cool. When I watch the stuff I see on that television, I'm not getting the same feeling. And it is what it is. I still think that DIY is probably the best tag team in the world right now, outside of New Day, of course. And who else is good? I'm not talking about guys like Finn and JD McDonough. Those guys, I think the world of both of them. But still, like two pure-blooded tag teams, and FTR is hit and miss and it's not because of them as tag teams. It's just they're great when they have great dance partners. When they got to carry a feud on their own, it's not fair to them because they got to make somebody. They got to bring somebody up, and it's like, man, they need equals. When I saw them getting in the ring with Briscoes, I saw equals. When they showed up in AEW, I saw them looking for trouble. I was like, okay, cool. But if they got no dance partners, it's tough for them. But anyways, like I said, man, and Cedric Alexander, what you said, brother guy, even him, he was AJ Styles' first match fresh off WCW. I mean, TNA off when he first hit the indie run. Before he made his run in Japan, his first match in the stateside that was like visible for people to see was against Cedric Alexander. I don't remember what promotion it was. It was a green and white promotion. And I remember because it was the first thing I saw on YouTube. I was almost on YouTube every day, daily, looking for AJ Styles, see when he's gonna pop up next. This, like I said, this is before Japan, this is before Ring of Honor. But like, and Cedric Alexander was a guy like, oh look, there he goes. He's rocking and rolling. He gave AJ still to this day one of his best matches, as he was trying to get the TNA stink off of him. So, shout out to Cedric Alexander. Always he's always gonna be that guy. I was happy to see him show up in TNA because now I know he's still going to get that mainstream publicity. He's not going to fall, into, well, what is this guy doing? You know what I mean? So, anyway, sorry. I know we went a little bit over, and it's cool. And we're gonna get out of here. It's probably the same time as usual, but it's okay. We got to get into Night of Champions. Good brothers, we have a new King of the Ring, and we're just gonna jump into it right now. This is the meat and potatoes of the show. This is the conversation that people need to hear the most. Cody Rhodes has been named the King of the Ring. Now, there's been some criticism saying that, he's been given everything. Why is he being pushed to the forefront? And we even had conversations about it, brother. He said, y'all ever notice that Cody Rhodes just gets everything? And my question that I proposed to brother, well, brother, who the heck who's going to pay the bills? And he was like, well, you know what? That's the goddamn problem too. And we kind of ended at a stalemate because it was like, sure. One thing is obvious, but it was like, all right, cool. But at the end of the day, we didn't have a solution for the obvious. That's kind of how it went down. So Cody Rhodes wins. But my question to you, good brothers, is at what cost? Is because it looks to me that after Cody Rhodes, we're going to run it back. Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. He gets his title shot at SummerSlam. But here's the problem. Randy Orton had this look on his face after the match. Randy Orton's been enjoying the fans. He has been enjoying his moment. The fans are liking him more than they ever have in his entire career. But are we about to lose one of our biggest baby faces in the industry right now for the sake of Cody Rhodes? Because it looks like Randy Orton is fighting off those voices in his head. And we all know Randy Orton. It's not going to last long. And at what cost are we losing because Cody Rhodes is winning? Is that the case? Is it not the case? Does anybody see it their way? Or maybe they don't see it their way. Come on, fellas, talk to me. The world needs to know.
Well, I can tell you this. Yeah. I am so sick of Triple H because I have never been so wrong on every even when I thought I was going left field, I was like, all right, look at it from this standpoint. It's going to be because, to Hugh's point, yes, Cody keep getting the world, but then to Realness' point, well, who else is it? And not too long ago, we were praising WWE because they had a healthy problem that it was too many stars, right? Now they feel like, point. Okay, we know it's stars down at certain moments. Like, and I'll give this example. We didn't see Nia Jax lead up to WrestleMania, but as soon as Mania season was over, she's a main event player within the women's division. So you had a whole Damian Priest, you had a whole Drew McIntyre, you had all these people that were viable options. And then it was like, oh, slide them into the U.S. title picture, then let them disappear. Now, guess what? Oh, Saturday main event and SummerSlam coming up. Come on, Drew, we need you again. You know, and it's like we go from WrestleMania, Cody and Cena, to SummerSlam, now Cody and Cena, to print more money when you were printing money all this time with all these extra stars. And that's why I said I can't believe that he won again. I just knew for sure this would have been Randy Orton's retirement tour as well. So if Randy decides next year I can hang it up, he can say, I've done. Because do we want to see Randy Orton win King of the Ring next year? Do we want to see him win another Money in the Bank? Absolutely not. We just want to celebrate him, right? So Cody, on the other hand, here's my other point. Did he need this to get to the main event of SummerSlam? No. Well, so why give it to him? If that's going to be our thing, why give him that accolade to get him to it when we could have just got him to it the same way? And that's all I'm going to say about that. And so, y'all
that's what Brother Hugh had to say about it. That was kind of what he was alluding to when he kind of said, like, y'all ever noticed that Cody Rhodes seems to get Brother Hugh's random thoughts. Y'all ever noticed Cody Rhodes seems to get everything? And I'm like, well, that's kind of what sparked the conversation. But Brother Hugh, how did you feel about this? Since you're the one that kind of put it out there in the first place, how did you feel about Cody Rhodes winning this year's King of the Ring?
I hated it, but I got it. I understood it because
why did you hate it?
Saudi shows they're very predictable.
Oh yeah, Riyadh,
very predictable. So that's the reason I got it. I understood it. Like, come on now, Randy Orton or Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is your top guy in the WWE right now. You're not going to have him lose in Saudi, especially when Saudi paying out them that money. You know what I'm saying? So
you know what they paid to see,
right? But they had a good match. But I just preferred Randy Orton to come out on top. But as you said during the match, Randy was fighting those demons. So we might be getting a heel turn. I would prefer to have Cody, but it doesn't make sense because once again, he's your top breadwinner, right? Or one of them, right? So it doesn't make sense right now. And all the little kiddies will be mad. They will be upset. Unless you turn John Cena back.
Yeah, he's just started wearing his weight belt back to the ring. I was pissed when he stopped wearing it for a while. Like, bro, where's the weight belt? Put it back on.
Right. So, I mean, it made sense if you want to print some money, yeah, of course. It makes sense. We want to get the biggest match possible at SummerSlam. Your first 2-night SummerSlam, it has to be WrestleMania-like. So, let's run it back. John Cena, Cody Rhodes. I get it. I don't care about it, but whatever. We're here.
SummerSlam. How about Triple H is going to find a way to make you care about it. They're swerving us. Where does Roman play in all this? I'm not going there yet.
Absolutely.
But Brian H., come on, our resident heel, Hollywood. How did you feel about Cody Rhodes winning this year's King of the Ring?
From a personal standpoint, in full kayfabe.
Here you go. Don't separate the two. One entity.
Well, it's giving Bret Hart 93. To chase back.
Okay, there we go.
When you
now we getting Brian H.
Bret Hart had to rack up those accolades. Now we all know back behind the scenes he was upset. He thought, told Hogan that where he could do with himself, but deep down inside, what Vince was doing was, I'm not putting you away. I'm, reheating you up. And the '93 year of Bret Hart was the setup for the chase back to the championship. Now, I don't know if it feels like a little too early for Cody to get that title back, but I also think that him winning this and then losing could show, because he could not win the title. It just shows the non-guarantee, right? Like the Money in the Bank for the women right now, everybody's perfect. And I think Naomi's going to stay on that perfect streak. But John Cena was the first person, if I'm not mistaken, to non-successfully win the championship. So, because he did that before. If I'm not mistaken, he did that before Damian Sandow, right? So the thing is, Cody could win and still not win the title, so it's not always a guarantee. So I'm fine with that, and I feel like I said, it's just all about this run is giving the Cody Bret Hart equality. The mega baby face, who people can say, people weren't tired of Cody Rhodes. Let's be real. Like the kids wasn't tired of him. The kids hadn't turned their backs on him. So
I sure think it wasn't.
Yeah, now they get to see their hero rechase and get back on track. So I understood exactly why he was the guy.
Okay. No, that makes a lot of sense. And like, we're not about to spend 6 hours deliberating, because we know Triple H is doing something on purpose, and we know they already got their minds and their hearts set on SummerSlam. So, like you said, I think that's probably the most.
He couldn't lose anyway, because we just celebrated Juneteenth.
Well, that's true. Cody Raheem. So that's true. Freedom Day.
Yeah,
so,
bro. I'm just saying. But my bad.
Yeah, you can.
Wife is the African American nightmare.
Hey,
oh wow! Stop it. Anyway,
here we go.
Right. Oh my goodness, Jade proved that she was indeed. Jade proved she was ready for Asuka. But my question is Jade ready for this main event slot? She's on a fast track. It seems like they're putting some trust in her to do some things. So the question is she ready for this main event slot that they're about to give her? Is she ready for that top spot in WWE? Can she handle being champion? She's been working hard. I don't want to call her green. WWE has done an excellent job of protecting her. Absolutely. But is she ready to be the top draw in WWE?
It ain't gonna last that long. Proceed with caution.
Absolutely.
But yeah, Jade is. I thought this was great. I think she needed this. It's sink or swim, right? You invest all that money and time in a Jade Cargill. Eventually, you got to pull the trigger. You got to put her out there. You got to let her drive by herself. And her going out there, having an incredible match with Asuka. I mean, I know we can always say who can't have a great match with Asuka, but she still had to get in the ring, So I'm never somebody who's a fan of so-and-so had a match by themselves, right? Because the reality is it's not that many people who can do that. But I thought she held up her end. She didn't look like creative wrestler, making creative moves. So is she ready for this spot? Absolutely. Is she ready for all eyes to be on her and her carrier program? Absolutely. And now it's time to go into the fall season with us cooking with grease, as you say, Realness, with Jade and Naomi. It's time, This will take us into the months of going against the football season before eventually Bianca comes back. So I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the thing when you put it that way, Brian. I didn't think about it, but I was like, ooh, we might be onto something, because I can see Jade having a very, very short run, like winning it, and then, like you said, Naomi cashing in, and then that chase will be epic. But it also gives Jade more time to develop. You know what I mean? It gives Naomi her run, and then by the time Jade actually catches up with Naomi, or she finally gets her hands on her, the payoff will be 10 times more than just what it will be if she just happened to win at SummerSlam. So I like that. How do you guys feel about this storm of brewing, this new main event started? WWE is cultivating to be the next one.
Hey, it seems right. Seems to be the right move, to be honest. Like, who's the champion now? I'll wait.
Tiffy time.
Tiffy? Yeah.
Oh, okay. She is? What is she doing?
I ain't gonna lie.
You such a
What is she doing?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
What has she
I'm
been
with you,
doing?
brother Hugh.
Wow.
I'm just saying, like,
Brian H, don't do that.
Since you got the title.
Brian H, you just talked about. Brother Hugh said he has not seen her do anything since she has the title. She's holding that joint. You just said it yourself. We watch them build Jade. We watch them build Cody Rhodes. What'd you say? You said there's certain milestones that you got to kind of grab to build up a certain superstar, right? And sometimes holding a championship doesn't necessarily translate to that. Sometimes you're just holding it. Bret Hart said it when he said, "Man, I feel like they made me champion. My 5th reign was just to hold the belt until Shawn." I was like, "Oh,
yeah."
I'm just saying.
Disagree. I'm gonna say it like this. I will say Tiffany's reign has cooled off, but I'm not gonna sit up here and act like the buildup wasn't there from last year, running around with the briefcase, the customized briefcase, the feud with Nia, and then finally, being kicked around by Nia, finally cashing in, and then defending it with Nia. Nia has proven to be she's been proven to be Tiffany's best dance partner because she can, as the veteran in her, can pull it out. Now, the pressure has been on Tiffany. Has she had the greatest run per se? No, but she's still in her infancy run, where that next run, when she's getting ready to main event one of them nights next year, SummerSlam in Minnesota, she'll be fine. But I don't think this has been a bad run. I don't think it's as Isaiah Burst just jumped in the chat, asked, do we think LA Knight should get a world title run? No, I think that was a bad run. That was a bad US title run.
I said no.
But I think with Tiffany, I think she had a really epic, really feel epic feud with Charlotte Flair, and I think the match was supposed to do. It was supposed to feel dirty. It was supposed to feel personal, and I don't think, in all fairness, that she recovered from that. She didn't possibly do what she was supposed to do, which was come out and then clear out the house and remind everybody whose house it was. After that, like Charlotte put her over, and she kind of flatlined. But I don't think she had a bad run this whole time. I just think she hit a certain point and she plateaued. And now
sounds like a lot of Damian Priest to me, buddy. Sounds like Damian Priest to me.
Right.
Well, you think so? Wait. What about Priest? Did Priest plateau or did Priest not get it?
Here's the thing. Here's what I saw. I saw they were trying to build a star, and everything they did was successful for what they did. But then nothing really stuck to the point where, don't get me wrong, you established Damian Priest. But at that point, it was like, all right, well, he doesn't need the title. We wanted the fans to get behind the character of Damian Priest. Now he's got to take a backseat to the main event scene. Like the main event, the title was just to make the character, not the character celebrating the championship. Like once you get to a certain point, like when Jade wins, she's going to be there for a while. Assumingly so. It's because of how she's being built, right? Like the climb, the Cody Rhodes build, how he was built. Okay, he's there. But it was like some people, you do these things. It's like, okay, we're going to do this and do this and do this. And this is going to make them a star. But it doesn't mean it's going to keep them in the main event conversation. So if you tell me that after Tiffany Stratton loses her championship right now, in whatever capacity she does, I'm telling you right now, there's no way in the world she makes her way back to that main event scene for a long time because she's got to get back in line. There's too many other stories to tell. And I'm like, okay, cool. You hold that belt, but yet we care more about what's going on with Naomi and and Jade, right? So it's like, cool, yeah, you holding the championship, you having a run, but we put more time into this story, into this character, into this build. We're giving her good wins. She's beating Asuka. She's queen of the ring. You're looking like, she's checking things off the list. It says like she's up next. Now, you think when she wins queen of the ring, and you got Naomi walking around that briefcase, you think we're gonna go back? You think anybody gonna want to see Tiffany and Jade go at it for the title when you got Naomi lurking? Proceed with caution, right?
That's why I say
that's
plateaued.
all I'm saying. I don't disagree with it. And I don't think it's her fault.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that sometimes when it's like there's nothing interesting about what you have going on, like I watched Tiffany Stratton because she got to beefing with Becky Lynch. If she wasn't beefing with Becky Lynch, I wouldn't have paid her any mind. But I'm like, this young girl's going toe to toe with the man. Let me see what she's about. She had to feud with Nia, right? Cool, that's done now. Like, we're moving on, because guess what I'm worried about? I know for a fact Naomi's got that briefcase, and Jade just won Queen of the Ring. We got two different champions right now. We got Tiffany Stratton. We got EO Sky. We got Rhea Ripley standing right there. We got Bayley over here tripping. I'm like, bro, Tiffany Stratton is an afterthought to me right now. Not because it's her fault. It's because I'm just interested in these other stories you got going on besides Tiffany Stratton. They lucky Liv Morgan went down, because we be talking about her more than anything.
That's all her and Nikki Bella.
That was about to be a thing.
That was
brother guy. You've been quiet on it. Let's talk. What's your 2 cents on this?
So it's a couple things. I'm glad that I was right about Jade winning, because I think Jade needs that main event spot at SummerSlam more than Asuka does. And I'm saying that because Jade keeps climbing and climbing and climbing. It's about time for her to, I don't want to say put up a shut up, because that sounds horrible, but it's time to say, yes, here she is. We keep itching and teasing and teasing. Let her have that, whether it be the opener of night 1 or opener of night 2, whatever it's going to be. She's in a prominent spot. She's going to be in a marquee. And the sad part is, Tiffany has 2 things going against her right now. One, she was the victim of pull you from NXT and we didn't know what to do with you. And we stop, start. Because that division, and I'm going to say that championship, has always played second fiddle because of where it is. That championship never feels like a big deal, because look what happened from Io's run with that title to her run with the world title. It's the same. She doing the same matches. She putting on the same thing. But that world championship felt more important because they put the emphasis on that as well as the men's world title. Whereas though on SmackDown, the emphasis has always been on the male title and never really the female. Now the females have come leaps and bounds because they have given them another story. Like we said, we're only interested in Naomi with the Money in the Bank because that story was so ingrained out here all the way back at Elimination Chamber when it kicked off. So we might be coming up on the anniversary of Shucks, or it might be a
you need it.
Dang it. You was going in. You started cooking.
He was. He's still cooking.
He's still going. He doesn't get it. Brother guy.
I don't know why.
Go ahead. Keep going. Pick up where you left off.
Okay. So that
you was cooking.
He got excited the cord.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
It didn't feel at the same weight as the men's WWE Championship / Undisputed Champ, whatever you want to call it, as in the world title did. On Raw, they felt equal. They felt equally as important. One can open the show or close the show. One can be on the pay-per-view, one cannot. But this, we know it's always about that WWE Championship. It's always been front and center, and then everything secondary. The crazy part is, oh, go ahead. No, I was going to say the crazy part
go ahead,
is,
finish your thought. Go ahead.
Tiffany was a puller from NXT. Give her something so the main roster audience can know who she is, because she was doing great work in NXT. She was doing what she needed to do there, and then they said, "Oh, well, get her here because our roster is thin," right? Gave her the Money in the Bank briefcase. Great. That story, I don't care what nobody said. That story with her and Nia Jax, I was like, please just cash that. The will they, won't they coexist is so overdone. It's so boring. The most interesting thing she did with that briefcase is made it pink and made it a purse, because it went on too long of the tongue in cheek. So then she gets it, and her biggest threats happened, and then it was over. It was over.
Bingo, right there.
So it was like
that right there.
That was it. And it's like she deserves more, but it's because I don't want to say that title is cursed, But that title, they meant more when it was the Raw and SmackDown championship. But now they feel like that's literally the other title. And you would think the world title would be, because that's the one that's tied to a lineage of the SmackDown world title. But this is the true women's championship. That's an afterthought. It's not Tiffany's fault, but she needs something that could, well, like we saw at WrestleMania, she has grit. We've seen that in the street fight with her and Becky. We've seen it with her and Thea Hale. We've seen it with everybody. Imagine if Tiffany was still in NXT. She would be the.
She would definitely be like on the same trajectory that Rhea Ripley is on, where she was on NXT. So
we didn't even talk about the United States title change. And then what Tiffany's doing.
Right.
I'm like, okay, Julia, what's she gonna do with this title? Who's her next contender? Because I know Jade gonna take that belt, but I'm still gonna stick to my guns. I'm happy Jade got it. I think that Naomi's gonna cash in at the beginning of it, and it's gonna want to be a Naomi and in that match at SummerSlam. You don't need no build up, just the shock factor of her cashing in on Tiffany before the match even starts would be insane to me. But
yeah, that might be the thing. I don't know. That's all.
And think about, are you more worried about what Julia's going to do, or are you going to worry about what Tiffany's going to do on Friday? Because we know Jade's going to come out there. Say what it is, Jade's going to come out there, cut a promo. Tiffany's going to say, "I'll see you at SummerSlam," and that's probably going to be and then Julia's going to be backstage walking with the title. She's going to have a match. Watch, Julia will be in a match, and she's going to be showcased, and Julia probably will have a match at Evolution, and Jade will be in the stands watching, because there's nothing for Jade to do until SummerSlam. She's gonna cut some promo. She's gonna look.
That's a wrap.
I'm just glad the Zelina Vega experience is over.
Thank you. Amen.
Yeah, told you. Yeah,
I get,
brother guy.
I get. All right, I get. I'm just saying.
Nah,
not the sound.
Jade is gonna have nothing. Jade is gonna have nothing to Evolution to do, right? But Julia will. So Jade is gonna be sitting in the crowd, waiting her turn until SummerSlam. Julia is gonna be more important for this moment. Tiffany ain't gonna be okay. Her and Trish, good. We know that's just to get her to to get that. Oh, let's make her a credible threat, right? And then the crazy part is, Jade's gonna get the title, and she's gonna be on every NFL network, every single football game,
she will be
with that title, because she's gonna look like $1 million, and it's gonna be, imagine her showing up with the title or doing something at every single game this fall.
Look like $1 million.
I saw when I pregnant every time she comes on the TV screen. I'm glad you said that on the air. Yeah. When I saw BET cover her win, I said, "Oh yeah, it's on now." Yeah, like BET, like what? I said, "Oh yes." I'm trying to tell you. So like when to what you said, brother, guys,
the black women do today in wrestling.
Literally. So like, just put the black woman keyword in.
She's gonna cut a promo. I'm telling you, on SmackDown, she's gonna cut that promo. Tiffany gonna come out and say, "I see you at SummerSlam." Julia gonna be walking backstage, coming to the ring for her match or something. I'm telling you, that's what's gonna be. That's how seamless it's gonna be.
And the crazy part is, she's such a star, had such an aura, and such a presence. That's good enough for like Evolution. She don't gotta have no match. Sometimes you showing up and doing something else is good enough for the draw. Like we're here to see, like you said, we're here to see Julia wrestle, but the presence of her being there, and like I said, she has a reason to. She's the new queen. Oh yeah. It's on and popping, but we're gonna move on. But it's gonna be fun. Let's talk. Let's see. Let's just talk about this. Let's go to Brian H's group, the Bloodline. There it is, fellas.
Let's get it.
That's not my bloodline.
Tala Tonga. Tala Tonga.
I was right.
Has officially made his debut. Right. They made sure they broke the Saudi announce table, which is like, that's a throwback to the Spanish nine. They never break their own table. It's terrible. No. But Tala Tonga finally shows up. He still looks like he's about as green as goose eggs. But yes, we got a new heater in the Bloodline. You heard it, Brian H? These are your cousins. This is your kinfolk. And not only did Tala Tonga show up, Brother Hugh's tribal chief is back.
We're back, baby. We're back.
Tonga Loa. Let me say this right now. I am so encouraged about the fact that he is returned. I said, good. Now they're not going to get released. They're still part of the bloodline storyline. Because I'm like, because if they was going to break, like, oh, forget it. We're all leaving Solo and going to do our own thing. And Solo's going to bring in more cousins. First of all, Rikishi got 7 kids. We ain't heard about 3 or 4 of them. 3 of them wrestled, just ain't made it. It's ridiculous. I was like, they're just going to keep bringing in cousins. The bloodline storylines, like Roman Reigns wasn't joking, and they keep procreating so they can just wait a few more years and then make the kids get in the industry anyway.
Congratulations to him and his wife.
They're chasing, like when God said to what's the term? I'll get back to it, but yes, they took that literally, just because Samoans have. They believe in big families. It's like y'all just keep rolling, huh? But there's so many cousins. But yeah, they have to. Like, all right, let me make sure I choose the right one because be fruitful and multiply.
Be fruitful and multiply.
Be fruitful and multiply. Coming off that road, all right, there it is, and I'm back. I'm back on the road. So Tonga Loa is back. His brother is back. His youngest brother is back. He's the baby, Tala Tonga, known as Hikuleo, but Tala Tonga, we saw the trademark go in a long time ago. And of course, Tama Tonga, he got hurt recently, and I'm mad because he's the best one out of all of them. And I'm like, man, the story's just starting to heat up. Jeff Cobb looks like a mountain of mashed potatoes. he looks like a mountain of mashed potatoes. He needs some seasoning, some gravy, because he does not fit in at all. But
what did you
never
say
had
that
a
man was
personality.
before? You called him something else before.
I called him I say he was like last week I said he was like a rock, just like a stone or something like that. I forgot what I called him. But I say he's just a vanilla, like a vanilla stone. I forgot. I called him something. I gotta go back and watch the footage. But
you called him
you look at the footage of and I was just like, dude, what is he doing there? He didn't belong. So if it was just Solo, Tala Tonga, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa, I'd be like, oh yeah, we good. And then you got like little Jeff Cobb, like, and I'm like, okay, I like Jeff Cobb, don't get me wrong, but he needs some seasoning.
JC
he needs some
Mateo,
Lowrys. He needs some. Yeah, he got to figure out what he's good at. He's just like a boulder. He's just a stone. But yeah, he reminds you of the Juggernaut. It's like a little 6-foot Juggernaut. But yes, anyway, Brother Hugh, are you happy? Your tribal chief has returned. He's back. They flew him all the way to Sato, which means like he was getting lost in the sauce, and I was getting nervous for him because he got release written all over his face. If you ask, I was like, oh no, they getting hurt early. The storyline is over with. Who knows where this is gonna go? But they flew him all the way to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. I said, okay, they must find some value in my guy. But he's back. How do you feel about this new version of the Bloodline? I can't wait to talk to Brian H about this part.
Well, but look, first of all, I sent that text in the group message, right? I said, look, this is predictable. As soon as I said it, my man came back and made a difference. I was like, oh, let me shut up. My dude is back. You know what I'm saying? So I look, man, I popped like crazy. I'm so glad he was back for the same exact reason you just said. I thought he was gonna be on the chopping block. I'm not gonna lie. Man. I didn't know what they were gonna do with him.
I was nervous. Yeah.
To be honest.
Like, all right, storyline's over with. They're sending people on their way.
Right. So I'm glad he's back. He didn't botch. You know what I'm saying? So we good. We're good right now.
There you go.
We're great. I'm just waiting to see Tama Tonga come back, and hopefully we can get some tag team runs with.
That's how you measure it that he didn't botch.
What? He didn't. That's straight up.
You know what and the crazy part is he was in WWE. He was in WWE for the rest of them guys. That's the crazy part.
That is true. Right.
But it's all good.
I'm glad he's back.
Were you impressed with the baby?
Oh,
Go ahead.
Man, he did what he was supposed to do. Come in and be a monster.
He's a heater.
He's like 6'9". No, he's like 6'8". But 6'8", he did what he was supposed to do. He's supposed to be the new Jacob Fatu. All right, we get it.
There you go.
I'm just happy that Solo finally got his title. It's in the record books.
Yeah.
He finally got his singles title on the main roster. Now, it all pays off for that. Like, it all pays off. All of that goofy, gimmicky, comedic stuff he was doing, it all paid off. You know? Because he was kind of goofy for a while. But he was still carrying on that bloodline, that storyline for a minute too. So he finally got his payoff. So I'm happy about that.
And he was the last one of the original bloodline. Like the purpose of a faction is to get people over and move on, right? He went from being the last member, the youngest one, and the enforcer to now leading his own faction. He's the leader. To me, he's giving me Rock Nation vibes right now.
There it is.
You know what I mean? United States champion. Now he's got his own group. He was a part of a group. Now he's the head of the group. And I'm just like, okay, we're seeing a development of his character. We're seeing his kind of delusional manipulation, even though brother guy still wants him to be a street champ. The Samoan street champ. But it's like, but to see where like, yo, he was the last one. And now look at him. He's at the forefront. Like he's at the front of the faction. Now he's got to get these other guys over. Now he's got to work with the Tongans and got to get Jeff Cobb over. So it's like the fact that they trust him to say, okay, cool. Now it's your turn to run with the show and carry on the bloodline storyline. Brian H., are you happy about this? Because it's your storyline, bloodline. Because that's what it is. It's the bloodline.
No, this is good stuff. It's another civil war within.
With who? Who's fighting? What's civil war? Roman's not dead, Brian H. What do you mean? Who's the civil war against?
Jacob and Solo.
Yeah, okay.
Are they not members?
I don't know why. I was too busy trying to make you feel bad about this bloodline that I stopped making any sense. I forgot Jacob was even about this. I was solely trying to make you feel bad about the way the bloodline is, that I forgot that this is about Jacob. Carry on, sir. That's on me. That was just dumb.
Eventually, we need a high chief or somebody chief to come and set this straight, because clearly
like
the Rock ain't do what he's supposed to do after
Miami
Raw on Netflix. So maybe it's time for Rock's mama to come and set it straight, because she's the elder.
Oh, come on. Stop trying to bring her into this. Leave
no
mama
everybody got to get on the same page.
Okay, so who you and I both know Rikishi's going to want to be the guy to do this.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But yeah, he should. Yeah,
there's no Alpha, there's no Sika, there's no Yoko, there's no Samu right now. There's no Big Sam.
This is why everybody don't need a podcast, right? Especially wrestlers, because he's trying to get talk him way out of it. He keeps complaining about
Jade. He's working the gimmick.
And it's this. But see, how did that work out for Corey Graves? He got punished for 6 months.
Right.
Corey Graves is on the payroll.
Still,
and he's not. He's not good. He reminds me why Pat McAfee is out there with Michael Cole.
You don't think Corey Graves is good?
Here's what I'm saying. Corey Graves is great as a wrestling commentator, but the reason why Pat McAfee is out there with Michael Cole is because they're fun. They're entertaining.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've heard Corey Graves a million times. Like, okay, cool. I say, you know the difference between you and Pat McAfee are? Like, Michael Cole's out there trying to have fun with Corey Graves, and Corey Graves is calling a wrestling match. And I'm like, dude, this is why Michael Cole has more fun when he's there, because Michael Cole's been a wrestling commentator for 30 years. But Pat McAfee came in and switched the game up. And he goes, Pat McAfee makes you feel like you're watching a football game. You know what I mean? He gives you entertainment, he gives you knowledge, and he gives you attitude. Yeah. And Corey Graves is out there. Corey Graves is out there calling a wrestling match. Yeah, Cole, because you thought I'd still like, dude, I heard Bobby Heenan already. Like Corey, like Michael Cole's like excited and trying to bounce stuff off of Corey Graves. And Corey Graves is like, what are you talking about? He's trying to play too cool. Like, see, you don't get it. That's what's wrong with you, Corey Graves. You're being too cool. Like, oh no, did you forget? I'm the heel commentator, Michael Cole. Michael Cole's like, bro, we don't do that no more, man. We just out here have fun, bro. We don't
just cutting up.
What you doing? Yeah, that bingo. Thank you, brother. That's how he was. He's like, no, I gotta stay in character, Brian H. I'm the Bobby Heenan of the group. Like, nah, bro, come on, man. This ain't 97. We don't do that no more. It don't gotta be a heel in the face anymore. Like, what the heel in the face is Pat Graves. He'll tell you. What did Michael Cole say about crazy? We talk about this freaking commentary over this Night of Champions. What did Michael Cole say about Pat McAfee? He said Pat McAfee is not a wrestling commentator, and he doesn't pretend to be. He's literally Pat McAfee watching wrestling and calling it as if Pat McAfee was watching it. And I'm like, and that's what brings the excitement to the show.
He's disrupting industries. He's not a broadcaster. He's not a commentator. He's not even a guy. Nothing. Let me shut up.
Pat McAfee comes out there part-time and does a better job of selling professional wrestling than the heel guy. Like, I'm the pro wrestling guy. Let me go out there and do the pro wrestling. Okay, bro. Come on, man. Wade Barrett does a better job than you. I'm just saying. No, it's no disrespect to Pat to Corey Graves. Corey Graves is great. Don't get me wrong, but I see why Michael Cole's like, Raw's got a different vibe now. This got
Let's
a
just go with the
mainstream
Wade Barrett
feel.
of it all. Yeah, Wade Barrett. Yeah.
Wade Barrett is hilarious though, because Wade Barrett is a believable character. Corey Graves is a wrestling commentator. So anyway,
and Wade Barrett got a lot more references to stuff going on now. Like I like how they keep referencing his in-ring career about what's going on now about him fighting. He was like, yeah, you led a faction at one point in time. He was like, yeah, 2 of them. He would throw his little things in there.
See that?
Yeah, John Cena at one time.
You know how entertaining that is?
So
you know what's funny? That somebody posted this the other day, since we're talking about commentary, they posted about Jerry Lawler and said he never made any wrestling references the whole time. He was supposed to be the wrestling guy and never made any wrestling references.
Never.
Crazy.
I don't ever he made references. Wow. I didn't do that, by the way. I didn't do that. It wasn't me. I just, Brother Hugh, was not me. That's all I'm saying. My hands are clean. I put up John Cena and CM Punk. It wasn't me.
I was going to say something about the solo match real quick. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I know I haven't said technical. Just real quick, I'm glad I was right that Hikuleo showed up. I didn't think that was coming back, but you said something real interesting, realness, and I'm happy that it's happening because now that Solo has got that title, we might get Jacob Fatu unleashed. He's going to be so dangerous now because he's not attached to nothing. And even when Jimmy came to help him, you see how he looked at him and was like, "Who asked you to come out here?" Like, I think it's about to be, you know what? Like, you thought his backstage promo was intense. Oh, Jacob, this might be the Jacob that we've been waiting. This is going to lead us to a SummerSlam. I want to call it like a stipulation match, but it's going to be Solo versus them.
Nah, that should be a good. But see, it almost takes me back to what you said, brother guy. We'll move on. We're going to stay with you. Is who's going to be more important in this situation? Jacob Fatu Unleashed or Solo Sikoa United States Champion?
Solo,
see,
Jacob Unleashed.
One guy's holding the championship. He may hold it for a while, but then you got another guy that's about to break out and be a star without the championship. Like, all right, cool. We gave you the belt to kind of put you there. They be like, all right, I ain't gonna hold you, bro. You don't really need this because we about to turn you into something completely different, and you probably don't even stay there. It's kind of the same way with LA Knight. It's like, all right, man, we kind of put you there to say, hey, look, you're up next. Then it's like, all right, you don't need this. We need the belt for something else. And you don't really need this at this point.
I'm so glad you feel that way about LA Knight because y'all want to talk about flops. Dude can't cut a promo.
So he do be stumbling all the time.
He stumbles over his words sometimes. He gets a little too excited.
Yeah, he's excited.
I think LA Knight is a people's champion. I don't think he's a guy that's like, oh, he's my future world champion. He's first of all, he's older. He said he ain't my people. I think like people like him. People like it when he comes out. He does his thing, and then that's what I mean. Like the way he carries himself, his gimmicks and stuff like that. I think that's like his thing. Like when he showed up with the popcorn to beat up Seth Rollins, that's for the people. Like you know what I mean. He's a Johnny Everyman. You know what I mean. But I'm not looking at him like, oh, he's got to be the guy to carry the company. I'm not going that far. It'd be nice. He could use a world title run, but so could Shinsuke Nakamura. But don't get me started.
Yeah,
he's the one you put on the holiday tour shows so people can show up. He's that.
There you go. And
if he's not on there, you're like, oh, we can't go see LA Knight. The kids will be back.
Like we said. And what is he going to do? He's going to come dressed in red and yellow. He's going to hand out the Slim Jims. He's going to do his thing, and then he's going to yell, and we're going to go home. You know what I'm saying?
You got to tingle in your loins.
That's just how I feel.
In his butters. Yep.
Yo. No, them dumb Jordans.
Y'all really hate LA Knight though.
Yes. No, hate is a strong word, but them Jordans, like what? He got the worst ring. Never mind.
Dang.
So you don't like his you don't like his you don't. I told you he hates him. You don't like his Ed Jordan inspired ring gear boots.
No, yo, this looks terrible. It looked like created shoe on NBA 2K.
It do though.
That's
Like
terrible.
NBA 2K
I
on
can't-
PlayStation 3, yo.
I can't say anything because I'm a gear guy. I tried to watch AEW uploaded Daniel Bryan versus I think Will Ospreay, and I turned it off because he had that hot green and blue Seahawks color. I said, nope, not watching it. Turn it off. So don't listen. I don't blame you for being a gear guy. But let's take it back to our era. Around the time we started the show, this was kind of the hot thing going on, right? John Cena versus CM Punk. Did it live up to what we expected it to live up to? This was that 2012 feud reignited. CM Punk even came out in gear that he I don't know if that's his exact gear or similar gear, but he looked good in it. He came out with his jacket. I said, okay. I said, this guy come out with good gear. Came out good gear. Matching baseball jacket. I said, all right, now we getting CM Punk. Like I felt like it was CM Punk versus John Cena. Did the match live up to the hype? Did you guys enjoy kind of revisiting this? And even like the finish was completely understood. Seth Rollins and CM Punk are going to fight forever, no matter what feud they're in. But did you guys enjoy the moments between CM Punk and John Cena, even some of the stuff that happened in between that kind of led to, John Cena teasing that he might have changed from his ways, and they had to fight off some people together, but ultimately John Cena ended the match as he normally would as a heel. But how did you guys feel about revisiting this? John Cena, CM Punk, John Cena's checking guys off his list. He's running the back with. Did you guys enjoy it? Did you have fun watching it? Did it take you back to 2012?
Yeah, can't go wrong.
I enjoyed it.
I liked it. You said it was going to be something different, so I enjoyed it. And like you said, when it got to that point where it was Seth Rollins came out there, we kind of saw them unite. Now, I think that I wouldn't mind a little twist for SummerSlam. Shoot,
what are you cooking?
I mean, shoot, give me all four of them. I know Cody earned it, but shoot, why not? Or if you got one of them other shows,
that would shake things up. Yeah,
that
would shake
mind
things up.
Yeah,
because at that point you wouldn't know who would win. You'd be like, wait a minute, anybody could probably win this one.
Yeah,
exactly.
Feel me?
Yeah. So,
but
overall, I thought it was a good match.
Okay, yeah. Like I said, that was our era. We started doing a show around this time where CM Punk was the hot. Of course, Cena was there, but CM Punk was kind of there. But how did you feel, brother guy? Did you have fun revisiting this match between John Cena and CM Punk? Here's my thing, brother guy. I won't get you 2 cents on it. I like the fact that they didn't do too much. I like the fact that they didn't try too hard. I know CM Punk is your favorite wrestler, and he has been for a long time. But I was like, you know what? I'm glad that they didn't try to recreate. You looking for your CM Punk poster? I'm glad that they didn't try to outdo. I'm glad that they didn't try to outdo what they did during that era. But to me, it looked like an evolved version of it. And to me, I said this. I don't know if I put this in a group text. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I put that in a group text or I put it in the or I tweeted it out. But I said that CM Punk brings out the best of John Cena wrestling wise. Yeah, like you see John Cena like really wrestling with CM Punk, and I'm like, I respect that because it's like, okay, cool. Let me bring it because I know Punk's gonna show up and do some things. Did you feel the same way, or did you feel like it was overkill? Are they too old? Did they still live up to the hype? John Cena versus CM, the match that defined the generation, as Triple H says.
Oh, you're gonna hate this. The match was and then the overbooking at the end.
You loved it.
No, the overbooking at the end really killed it. Like they didn't do much, which you didn't expect them to do. I'm like, okay, so here's my thing, and this is why I said you're gonna hate it. I don't mind interference. I don't mind all of this stuff, but it's almost to the point on when I watch Raw and SmackDown, I know it's going to be a backstage brawl. I know it's going to be a pull apart. When we were starting to get them back, it was cool. But oh my God, it's like every time you watch Raw, SmackDown, it's 2 or 3 of these. And then it's always you stand inside of the ring and we're going to hold this person back. And then you're going to go around the side, jump on top. The brawls are too much and they're over the top at the point I'm like, okay. So then when Seth's music hit and he wasn't in ring gear, I said, here we go with the shenanigans. Yep. He's not cashing officially. What are we going to do here? Let me guess. He's going to tease it. Yep. Send the bronze in. Here we go. Yay. Oh, CM Punk and whatchamacallit. Oh, look. They're on the same side. Kick him in the you-know-what. Go ahead. Oh, he didn't do it. Oh, here we go. Same thing. More interference. Penta, get your stuff off while you're in Saudi because we flew you all the way over here to get that pop. All right, who's next? Oh, yeah, come on, Sammy. Come on, we can't never have too much Sammy. Give us more Sammy while we're at it. Yep, here we go. Yay. Oh, back to the match, and it's over. It was the roller coaster I didn't want. It's like I didn't need to stand in line for this ride. I'd have been okay without it.
It's the roller coaster that Saudi paid for.
Yes, and that's fine. They paid for it, but oh my, like
checklist.
You get what I'm saying? Like
Penta, okay,
yep. It is, and when Penta came out and he had to do his, all I kept thinking was Jeff Hardy coming out doing this while Matt's in the ring getting beat. Penta was like, "Nope, you gonna wait for this. I got to get this first." And then he gave the man Rey Mysterio kicks. He kicked the man like he was Rey Mysterio. I said, it's not even good interference at this point. It's just checking the box. And I know it's more behind the scenes, and I'm only one wrestling fan, but it made me not enjoy it even. I didn't enjoy it even more now. You know what I mean? I'm like, yep, okay. Because as soon as the music hit and Seth didn't come darting down to the ring real fast with the briefcase, he came slow and, he had everybody with him. I said, he's not even in his gear. He's not taking the title. It's all about keeping it from Punk. And then what did they do on Monday Night Raw? That's what he said. I said he would never be champion as long as I'm around. And I'm like, yep.
Peter Griffin and the chicken.
They're going to fight forever. And I'm okay with them two fighting forever.
Peter Griffin and the chicken.
Yes.
It's never going to. It's on site.
Seth,
that is the definition of on site. It's not no promo. Yes, it's not no conversations. It's when I see you, we're here to fight.
Like Seth, Drew, and CM Punk. That combination, they can fight forever. Because they've proven it. They can fight forever. I didn't want to see that again. What were you
expecting to see?
I was expecting to see this is awesome chant come out of me, like as me watching it, like, all right, because CM Punk does bring out the best in John Cena. I gotta admit that. Yeah, like Randy brings John Cena to a different level, but only when he's that heel Randy that John Cena can talk.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So it was okay. Yeah. I was expecting to see, you know how when I said that CM Punk's best match was with Drew McIntyre because it was great because of how the story was told. I said they're gonna go in there and tell a story that we're gonna say this is the class that this is the match you watch if you want to see what wrestling should be done. And then I was expecting CM Punk win, but John Cena still has the title. That's what I was expecting. Somehow him still.
Gotcha.
Can't hear you again. It's a wrap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike, your mic does not like you tonight. It is not. Definitely it's not letting you. It's not letting you be great again. So
Saturday, he dropped him with the AA on top of the title or something like that to say that's how he went. But I knew it was going to be a score.
I think the screw finish probably had a lot to do with the fact that, hey, look, man, we're old. We need a break. Let's get some distractions in. Let's get some distractions in so I can catch my breath a little bit. We're not as young as we used to be.
But, that is true.
I'm glad to see.
They did
that's my assumption. They're like, whoo, we're not as young as we used to be. Yeah, that's all right. Hold on. We got about 10 minutes.
They definitely got out and they came back in.
Penta.
Stood there, left back
Penta,
out.
take your time, bro. Do your walk. All eyes going to be on you. We're going to silent like this. Okay, hold on. Penta's still walking. I got to catch my breath. Yeah. Hold on. All right, here comes Seth. Let me get back.
Did you see how Braun was like, do I go to the ramp and fight him? Okay, I'm going to go that way. He hesitated like, is he coming or not?
He looked back like,
okay.
Am I going too fast? Wait, are they done? Hold on. Nah, Cena's still catching his breath. Hold on. Oh, never mind. Here he comes.
And he hit him with the Rey Mysterio kicks.
Yep.
Who kicks the man in his thigh? I was like, oh, that's the Rey Mysterio kick for real.
He said, ha. 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 It sounds like kicking somebody in the shin. Ha.
Right.
That's the noise I imagine making. Just like, bro, you just kicked me in my shin.
What? Why did you do that? Who kicks like that?
Dang, bro, kick me in my quad. What are you doing? But no, yeah, I think I know it wasn't your cup of tea, but man, I thought I'm old, so anytime, it's fun. The audience was hot. It was insane. No, But any last words on that, brother Hugh? Did you how did you feel about going back in time with John Cena and CM Punk? Was it everything that you thought it was going to be, or how did you feel? How did you feel about it? You're a legacy guy, so we watched this in their prime, but we watched them as they're seasoned vets now. But did it have the same gusto, the same luster to it?
It was all right. It was cool. It was just.
So you weren't impressed like brother guy. I can tell.
I really wasn't expecting much. I mean, of course, you're dealing with two professionals there, so you're going to get somewhat of a good match. I wasn't expecting the match to be only like 5 minutes long. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, literally, and the wrestling's like 10.5 minutes.
5 minutes of being out there.
Now we know why John Cena was working so like, all right, because this is all they get. After this, it's a dusty finish. Let's get to the 10-minute mark.
Right. So, I mean, the match was cool. The one-on-one aspect of it, yes, it was great. It was cool. I get it. But, of course, we knew the shenanigans were going to come. Saudi got exactly what they paid for. Come on, you got to see Sammy again. You got to see Penta come out and be the megastar that he's going to be. He established himself as one of those top guys now. You know, Seth Rollins, he furthered the story. He said it from the jump. Look, it's on site. You're not winning as long as I'm here. So
he meant it.
It made sense. I can't beef with it, but like I said, it's just predictable.
Sure. Like you said it though. You saw the shows are predictable because they're showcases. You know what they pay to see. You kind of almost know what's coming.
There's no way John Cena was going to lose that. This is a retirement year.
Yeah.
CM Punk going to be here for what? Possibly another year or so?
Yeah, he's not going anywhere anytime soon. He'll be around in some capacity, still doing CM Punk things. But I think
they got his apology too. So yeah, they win.
True.
Saudi's winning.
Yeah, that is true. He did apologize, but the whole blood money comment.
Yeah.
But like I said, it is man, Night of Champions. Of course, we didn't talk about Rhea Ripley's the street fight match, and we didn't talk about what was the other match? It was
Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross.
Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross. Because to me, that's a to be continued. That's just the beginning of something that we're going to get into.
Karrion got a moment.
He definitely did.
Yeah, I'm definitely glad that he had his chance to kind of to get out there, to finally be featured. You know what I mean? And it's probably one of the best matches I've seen him have in a long time. Paced himself, didn't go too fast. Because usually he's always like a step ahead or a step behind. And I'm like, come on, man, you gotta get your pace where your moves look predictable. But he also followed up. Either. I think to me, that was like they know that she had chemistry with Rhea Ripley because, like I said, they kept online, they kept calling back to their street fight that they had in NXT, and it was like, hey, let's do something that's going to make her look good. That's going to put her in a good situation where she looks pretty strong. And that was kind of how I felt. It isn't a bad thing because you don't want to just throw away Raquel. All the work she's been a great heater. I think she finally found her role. So now they got to try to keep that going as long as they possibly can. And thankfully Triple H and them have experience in this whole long-term storytelling thing. But I think there was a lot of long-term storytelling going on. I think they purposely dropped nuggets here and there in each and every match that kind of like, hey, let's put this here because we're going to probably pick this up later, or whether it's a few months down the line for the storyline, so on and so forth. But I think overall we had a good, fun Night of Champions. Got Roxanne Perez is, added to like I said, the whole point of a faction is to create stars and to move on. It's like the Judgment Day is another one. Like Damian Priest, star. Rhea Ripley, star. Dominic Mysterio, star. JD McDonough, starting to be a star. He's tagging to. So it's like, you make guys, you move on. What?
Let's be real about Dominic. And I was listening to those Wrestling Girls episode that just dropped today. Is he not living his best life? Rhea Ripley. What? Rhea Ripley.
Live more.
Yeah, Roxanne. And he got a wife at home.
Mind? And she doesn't mind? Like,
did you see what he said? Like when she texted him after the kiss, and he thought like, "Oh shoot, she might say something," and she asked him about some drapes or some curtains,
right?
With towels.
She's a real wife. She understands how this business works, which I respect.
Absolutely.
So yeah. So like I said, Night of Champions was fun. Of course, it's to be continued because we're on our way to SummerSlam. But I enjoyed it. Sounds like you guys enjoyed it. I think you guys brought some excellent insight to the to put this in perspective. So like I said, of course we had some technical difficulties today, but guess what? That's just how this works sometimes. But there will be other shows. But of course, until then, you can follow us on all of our social media platforms at Wrestling Realm. Subscribe to our Patreon, Twitch, and YouTube at The Wrestling Realm. Follow Championship Culture on Instagram at Championship Culture _. Don't forget, every Tuesday 8 p.m. at youtube.com/The Wrestling Realm is where you can find Championship Culture with Brother Hugh as the third super producer and the creator, the curator, Brandon, the guy, the Belt King, as they bring you new and exciting content, anything and everything in championship wrestling belt culture. That's why it's called Championship Culture. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get out of here. We've been having too many technical difficulties, but we thank you for sticking with us and standing by for the conversation. But until then, we're getting out of here. So as usual, like I always say, wrestling fans, do yourselves a favor and stay wrestling fans. This is just for you, Brian H. The People's Champion. We out of here. Peace.
Houston, we have a problem.
For all exclusive shows and bonus material, subscribe to our Patreon channel at patreon.com/thewrestling_realm. You can watch all of our Wrestling Realm content anytime on youtube.com/thewrestling realm.